This week is drilling, lots of holes, and then I make a mistake, and I'll show you how I made that mistake and what I do to fix it. So let's get into it. So I've been making good progress on the joins here. So I'm going to switch to the keel because it's the same setup, number 8, 1 inch. So I'm just trying to look at this keel here. So there's a few weird things going on. There's a plate, a brass plate that sits here, and I need to make sure that I don't land a screw where this brass plate needs to attach. So that's something I need to be aware of. The other thing is I've got screws coming through the keel to the frames here, so I really don't want to be in these areas near the frames because there's a chance I hit another screw. It looks like the spacing on these are like typically outstretched finger devil horns are the perfect spacing for this. However, it looks like someone's then come and put additional screws in, so that does not look original, that one there. Then if I move out, that looks like it's been put in. That looks like it's been put in additional. That is additional, and that is not original. That's not original. That's not original, neither is that. So they obviously had, that might be original, that's not. So it looks like someone's come in and put another bunch of screws in here, which is really interesting. Probably because the boat was leaking badly here, so they just threw some additional screws in. So I'm going to try and, I'm obviously not going to replicate that. In fact, I might go and get the other garbage, check what that looks like. See whether they did the same both sides or whether it was just this one side. So let me get that. This is where all the planks are. This was a chicken coop, so it stinks like chicken poop. It's the original stem and 4 foot join, planks, port side, starboard. I want port, right? Yeah, port. Where the heck is the port garbage? That's a topside plank. It's rotted out. As you can see, these were not good. 3, 4. Where's the labelling? Port 2. I need 1, 3. Side plank. It's got to be this. Port 1. Okay, that's it. This is what remains of the garbage. So, devil hands rule all the way, and yes, you can see here, you can see the difference. Someone slammed in a whole bunch of screws there so that's not original. So yeah. So looks like that spacing, is probably what, 3 inches. Typically 3 inches, about every 3 inches. Yep, 3 inch across centers. Okay, So we've got our spacing. It is hot. It's like 85 degrees, but humidity is off the scale. I'm just dripping. But making progress. So again, same technique, just colouring it green when I've done it, so that I know what screw goes in. All the way down to here. So far so good. They must have been using 3-inch centres, because I'm not aiming to line these up, but most of them are lining up. You can see very well with the originals by using 3-inch centres and then adjusting slightly, so I'll go like a 2.5 or a 3.5. Oops. If I need to stay away from where I know there's a screw underneath near this frame somewhere, so I just adjust by 1/2 inch, and ironically I'm virtually in exact sequence with the original holes, so it's probably what they were doing. 3-inch centres and then adjusting to avoid those screws. The good screws finally came in. Yes. So I was able to get the front down. Came in pretty good. Happy with it. And then in addition to that, I've been working on getting all of these keel fastenings in and chine holes, I should say. So all the chine on this side is now done. There's a drive-by. So, chine done. Keel is 90% done. Came all the way, there's just this last foot here. So there's a brass plate that fits in here. So I need to make sure that where I place the screw heads aren't going to cause an issue for that brass plate. So I need to go find that brass plate and just mark up where those screws are going to be and then avoid that area. So coming together. All right, frame done, chine done. So I've got all of these chine holes in, right the way around, all the way up. I've got the keel done, both sides. So coming in, looking pretty good, all nice and symmetrical, like it should be. I matched all the holes both sides, so everything's in symmetry. The front went on well, this side. All the chine this side done. So chined on this side. So the only bit I've got left to do is this keel here, where there's that plate that fits on. So I'm going to get that done now. And then I'm on to last set of holes, which will be a new setup, which is the 3/4 number 8 battens. So I've got number 8's 3/4 on the battens, number 8 1-inch on the keel and chine. I marked all of those green, and then I got number 10's 1.5 inch across all the frames. So I'll be moving on to the last setup now, doing the number 8 3/4. Then I'm going to need to make the butt blocks. So all of these joins here will receive a butt block. I've got this piece of, oh, I've got a pal coming here. This is Mona. Hey, Mona. Hey, Mona. So Mona is a mouse technician employed here. She's got some friends also in the barn that help keep the critters down. Aren't you? You're very cute. But she's also very vocal and very fussy, as you can see. Aren't you, Mona? Yeah. Alright, I made the last setup. Just drilled, that's for the batten. Just drilled these first two. Let's give it a test. You can tell I'm confident because I've drilled 4. See if this is going to set and not poke out the batten underneath. Yeah, that sets well. No bulging or protrude. It's not poking out the bottom. No bulges or anything on the bottom, so feels good. Happy with that. Pulls down nice. Wow, look at it pull that batten down. Interesting. See how much that pulled that down? Wow. Really shows the value of these longitudinal battens. That just really tighten that up. What's that movement when I loose this? See that come off? It's probably moving by a 30-second at least. Calling that good. I don't know how many hundred I got to drill now. Wah, wah, wah. Mistake. You know what's going to happen. This thing has been really useful for avoiding mistakes because it centralizes exactly where I need to be with these couple of bolt nails. Make sure that I'm always in the right place. I don't know. I must have been sleeping. It wasn't in the right place, and I piloted. Luckily, it was only the pilot, so I was easily able to rework it. Obviously, I prefer not to be making mistakes, but when you do, it's a choice of, am I going to remake the entire plank for this? In fact, 2 planks? No. So you end up reworking it, but these things happen. Just gotta deal with it. I do think that using fixtures and jigs like this wherever you can helps avoid mistakes. I mean, I'm drilling probably 2,500 holes here. So if I make one mistake on 2,500 holes, I can deal with it. So you just got to bounce back or just remake the plank. That's how I look at it. My rule is I normally try and never end on a mistake. So if I make a mistake, I'll work extra time to fix it. And then every night I finish with something good. Because if you finish on a mistake, you're just sitting brewing on it all night. It's not good. So I always finish on a high. If I scrap a plank, I remake it before I go to bed, even if that means I've got to stay up late or whatever. That's my mentality. At the end of the day, you just got to deal with it. But if you're flipping out over your mistakes, and it's not fun, is it? And at the end of the day, I've got no idea what I'm doing. So one mistake on 2,500 holes, I can live with.